Okay, here we've got the Wonderboy Anniversary Collection. Been played on Nintendo Switch, courtesy of Indie Games, the publisher. I want to thank them very much for providing the review code here. This is a great collection. You get 21, I believe it's 21 games here in this massive collection. Now, there isn't 21 Wonder Boy games here, but there are 21. Uh, there are 21 games spanning multiple systems for each of these games. So, I'll start with the first Wonder Boy. So you got the System 1, the SG-1000, the Sega Mark III, Master System, and Game Gear Japanese, and then the worldwide release on the Game Gear as well, Revenge of Grand Khan. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I will highlight a couple of them here. Now, the ones that offer the system, the system version, System 1, System 2, those are actually arcade releases, and those are actually my favorite ways to play these games. I'm going to go ahead and just let it state here. So this is the arcade version of the first Wonder Boy. Iconic music, great gameplay, wonderful platformer. And I really like the fact that they included the arcade releases here, because it's a great way to play these games. Arguably the best looking way to play these games. Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here and close, and we'll go back. We'll go to this 1000. It's probably the least favorite way to play this one, in my opinion. It's screen tearing, and it does not perform well at all. I mean, it performs well for an SG-1000 game. I'll give it that. But I mean, it's here if you want to relive playing this game on SG-1000. Here you go. Not for me though. Alright, so it's Sega Mark III in the Master System. The Sega Mark III is the Master System in Japan. So if we play one of these versions, it's going to be the same game. Actually, this might be one that's different. Nope, same one. Well, this one. Some of them are different, but this one's the same. This is the Sega Master System. Again, I mean, not the best way to play the game, but definitely a decent way to play the game. Different graphical styles you'll get with each of these iterations here. And some of the versions do have slight differences, like regional differences, graphical differences, slightly different ways that they play based on the platform they've been released on, which I can see as being a reason as to why it's included here with the different versions. And then we have the Game Gear version, and then the worldwide release. There we have it on Game Gear. Game Gear is also a platform that I don't really care for playing these games on, because it just looks very zoomed in and stretched, but that's the way the Game Gear plays. That's its limitation. So if there's a way to play it on like a game, either another Sega platform or maybe even a Game Boy. I'd rather go Game Boy than Game Gear for some of these games, just because the aspect ratio just isn't for me. They took a Sega Master System game essentially and shrunk it down, zoomed it in to play on the Game Gear. Now that wasn't always the case with a lot of these games, but some of the games they do that. Kind of off on a tangent here, but they did that with Castle of Illusion. They took the SMS-ROM and put it on the Game Gear. Okay, alright, so that's enough of the first game. Let's go to the second game here, Monster Boy and Monster Land. Now, interestingly, with this one, it's been put on here more than once. And this one's kind of a unique one. So, let's go and take a look at the System 2 version here. The Japanese arcade release. And I did not do a save state for this. Oh, no, I did for this one. Alright, System 2 world release. This is more of like an RPG style, action RPG game, where you can come to the bar, you can order a cocktail or a beer, or you can just leave. Each of these releases offers a way to rewind, and offers a way to fast forward. So if you don't want to sit through the cutscenes, you can fast forward them. Um, so that's an option for you, which is really nice. But this one has you gathering coins as a means to purchasing equipment to get through each stage. So it's kind of unique. And then there's a boss in each area. Kind of cool. Kind of neat. This is when it started to move away from or deviate from the standard platforming Monster World. Or sorry, Monster Boy. Or sorry, excuse me, Wonder Boy. Wow. And went more for a traditional action RPG kind of tangent there, which is kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and go back out. And we'll do the Master System release. Whoops. Okay, this is the same game. We played on the Sega Master System, very similar. But you can definitely see there's a graphical downshift, if you will. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're taking an arcade game and shrinking down to the Master System. It's not a... you're going to have some sacrifices, for sure. And here's the death fight. Notice what the Sega Master System does. The Sega Master System version does not announce who you're fighting. It just throws you into the fight. And this one does control a little bit differently than the arcade version, but not too bad. And this one's also, I think, easier than the arcade one as well. So we're going to go ahead and go back. We're going to Monster Boy 3, or Wonderboy 3, Monster Lair. Okay, we have the System 16 version and the Genesis version. This is the arcade version. This is more of a auto-scrolling run-gun shooter / platformer with different weapon upgrades you can pick up. This one's a great one to play if you're into this kind of gameplay. And then you've got the Genesis version, which plays very similar. I think graphically this one looks a tad bit better with the larger sprites. Although, of course, the rocks and things are going to take a graphical hit. But I think overall, I think it looks a little bit better than the System 16 release. But very similar gameplay from the arcade release. They did a great job making a home console conversion. Okay. I want to do Monster World 3. Now, one thing to note with all these releases, and I haven't touched on it yet, but I'll touch on it with Monster World 2 here. So here we have, let's do the Master System here. I know so each one of them has a maps option. So you come in here, you can see a breakdown of each map, which is really cool. So you get a sense of where you're going and what kind of lays ahead for each area. Now, if I were to load in here, so this is the Master System version of the game here. I'm pretty sure it is. I just want to go back in. Yeah, sorry, Master System version. I thought it was the Game Gear version for a second. Alright, so if I hit pause, you can come in here and you can check the map right in the middle of gameplay, which is really cool. But this is Master System version. Again, on that action RPG tangent. Kind of breaking away from the arcade platformer style. Also adding a puzzle element. This area is a giant puzzle. Because if you don't go the right way, you end up looping. So I didn't go the right way that time, so now I'm going to loop. Until I jump here, go this way. And then this area is going to loop as long as I go, if I go the wrong direction. And we're going to go and close this. And we're going to go to the Game Gear version. Again, you get more of the same, although everything is way more zoomed in. You can't see much that's in front of you. Definitely want to go for the Master System version if you're going to pick this game up or be playing this in this collection. Unless you're a fan of the Game Gear, that's always something that can be a thing as well. So we're going to go to Monster World 3 here. We have the Mega Drive version, Genesis version, Master System version. We'll do Genesis. So this is the game I was talking about. This game is on here twice. And each time you play this game, depending on what version you decide to play, it's going to play a little bit differently with each version. From the amount of gold you collect to the graphical aesthetics, and slightly, in some cases, the difficulty as well. But any which way you play this game, it's just going to play good. It's going to play very good and play well enough. Alright, let's go ahead and go back and do the Master System version. So you can see the Master System version from the one above to this one, very different. The shop isn't here, isn't there. The sword reach is much shorter. I mean, you might as well have a knife or a dagger rather than a sword. And the art style is a bit different too, as well as the music's different. There's only one guard there at the door. So, like I said, there's gonna be graphical differences, aesthetic differences, and gameplay and difficulty differences as well, depending on the version you play. And again, that goes for all of the games in this collection. So there's gonna be there's something here for everyone, really, depending on what game you want to play and how you want to play it, and at what region. So lots of different options. Monster World 4. Now this is the one that got released with the physical release. I'm gonna go ahead and just load the save state here. But this is the same one that got released with the physical release of Wonderboy, Asha, and Monster World, which I also got courtesy of NN Games that I cover on the channel. Again, shout out to them for sending it my way, both digitally and physically. It was a great surprise. And it's here in this collection for you with the Genesis version, this original version of the game. It plays great. Although for a definitive experience with this game, I would definitely suggest getting Asha, the remaster. It's definitely a lot better than this one, but this one's still great. And I'm glad they included it here. It's a great game. Probably one of my favorite games, actually, in the series. And yeah, this has been the Wonderboy Anniversary Collection on Switch. Again, I want to thank NN Games for the opportunity. This collection is amazing. I get a ton of games here across a ton of platforms, and it's just a great overall collection. And I hope today they continue to do this with their various games they published. I'd love to see them do this with another set of games. So I'll end the review here. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing. And as always, until next time, take care and happy gaming.